So as we mentioned last week, the Farm Act had a little movement, and it actually went over the finish line almost this week. So the House and the Senate both passed a conference report for the Farm Act of 2019. I think they may have actually changed the title to 2020. I haven't read the title to make sure. But it's this year's Farm Act and last year's Farm Act. The only real changes, like I mentioned before, the hemp section completely came out. So there's no additional authority for the Department of Agriculture. There's also no language in there about whether smokable hemp is illegal or not. So all the hemp is out, and really relies on the federal USDA regulations, and also the hope that the attempt to extend the pilot program for North Carolina is successful within Congress, so we can continue under the pilot program, and then address whatever statutory changes might be needed next year for hemp. Also, any reference to shooting sports and it being included in the definition of agritourism and thus being excluded from zoning requirements was also removed. Those were the two most talked about parts of the Farm Act. So again, it passed both chambers, is on to the governor for his signature. Yeah, both chambers continue to move what we call mini budgets, and they're really mini budgets, almost project-specific appropriation items. Nothing. The only one ag-related at the moment. They are moving a bill that would fund the Ag Sciences Center that the North Carolina Department of Agriculture is building to consolidate all of their labs into one building. There was a bill that will fund the operating monies needed for that facility. There's been a lot of discussion, bills filed related to agricultural items that are seeking appropriations, such as a funding to help small livestock processors that mainly we're talking about beef, but it could be anything, but to help some of those smaller processors possibly expand. There's also some discussion of ways to help the dairy industry. There's a discussion about some additional marketing monies for NCDA so that they can help farmers that may have lost a market because of COVID-19 find, whether it's online or find another way to market their farm products. So those are all in discussion phases. For the most part, looking at the federal dollars that are still available. So there was money that came down from Congress through the CARES Act. There's still about $2 billion worth of that available for appropriations from the North Carolina General Assembly. There's no acceptance one way or the other how they're going to spend all of that yet, but we're having those discussions at least to have some of these items teed up, so that when they decide how they're going to deal with it, whether it's to help prop up the state budget or to fund special programs, that at least we've got some items there on the list of things for them to consider.